I know because us as women, we notice ish like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we start seeing somebody husband coming on everybody thirst trap picture. You may start looking at that husband different, like, what's up with you? Your wife ain't gonna. I mean, why are you made? Not saying that a man, once he get married, he doesn't have thoughts like, oh, she's gorgeous. Oh, that look good. But I don't need you pressing like under this one and that one picture. I know my husband is a man. And he gonna be a man. Baby, just look and keep strolling. Because how does that look? And so that's not striving for excellence in your marriage. When you under these thirst trap pictures, googly eyed and emojied up, and even if you don't do a Google eye or emoji, if you press a like on it, what is your point? You want to notify that person that you like it? Yeah. And what your wife got to say about that?
This is the Family Dynamics Podcast with Kevin and Alicia Meeks.
Welcome to another episode of the Family Dynamics Podcast. Once again, we are in our home studio, and I am your host, Kevin Meeks. I am sitting next to my beautiful wife, Alicia Meeks.
Hey, hey.
How has your day and your weekend been, babe?
Well, it really was really great. It wasn't really like totally about me. It was Sweetest Day weekend. And I was very excited to surprise my husband because I kind of knew that he didn't even think about it being Sweetest Day. So I got him a gift that I knew he was going to like and he needed. And then we participated in church today with the Epic Nation. That was great. And then I ended my day with my sorority sisters. And that was a great time. So I've had a wonderful weekend. I can't complain. Yeah.
Yeah. I think every year I forget about Sweetest Day. Because I think I called one of the guys, and they was like, well, when is it? And what is Sweetest Day? I think you called.
They didn't know what it was?
Yeah, well, we talked to Maya's goddaddy. He was like,
Oh.
what is Sweetest Day or whatever. But I always
crazy.
forget. Yeah, but but no, it was definitely a surprise gift, something I definitely needed. So I appreciate that. But today was a decent day. This was a decent weekend. It's kind of hard coming back from Florida this week with Epic Fest and having that nice weather and palm trees. When you always come back to the Midwest, it's just always like gray. And,
like blah, blah. It's gloomy and gloomy. And that's why we got to get out of here.
So that's how my day and my week been going. So it's been pretty good. What's crazy is, you guys as our listeners do listen. So they actually had a request for a topic that we're going to share today.
Mm-hmm.
Something that you think that what's understood shouldn't have to be explained, but I guess some things do have to be explained. And what we mean by that is, once you get married, I think there's a misnomer that you should cut off everybody that you've ever known. But I don't think that that's what should happen, but I think there should be a huge boundary between your old life and your new life. Like you should change because things are changing around you, so why wouldn't you change? So one of the topics that we had on a request for was, should married people have
friends that cheat? Like that cheat on their spouse, be it their husband, their boyfriend, their girlfriend, their baby mama, baby daddy. Just should you as a married person hang around people who cheat? What are your thoughts?
No, because I've said that. No, because the old adage is birds of a feather flock together.
But you govern your own body and your own
Yeah,
self, your
yeah,
own
but
mind.
environment is always stronger than will. Environment, your environment is always stronger. You and your spouse, your husband or your wife aren't always going to be on the best of terms.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've been married for 9 years. We ain't always on the best of terms. And influence is
You jumping in that. It's
what?
not now.
What?
It will be now.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Right. It will be 9. But what I'm saying is influence is very heavy in our lives. So when emotions are high, low, or whatever, you got to be cognizant or you got to be mindful of your influences that are around you. That's why we say you got to be mindful of the counsel you get in those times too.
Yeah.
Like we've had some good and some horrible counsel as it relates to our marriage or trying to get help.
I mean, we've been through a few situations, yeah, with different counselors. We have. And that's why it's always good to be able to communicate directly with your spouse.
So imagine if we had taken advice of some of those people that we held at high esteem to help us in our journey as a married couple. How would that have changed or not even had our union? So imagine having friends that they cheat on their spouse and your spouse is hanging out with them and maybe you gravitate towards their thought process. Yes, I agree with you that you have to govern yourself, but govern yourself meaning govern your influences too.
Well, I agree with that, but I don't know. Have I been around people that cheat in life? Yeah, in life I have. I kind of think that a vast majority of the people that I surround myself with have the same or similar morals and values as I do. So I haven't had to deal with it often. Has it happened? Sure. And when it does, then maybe God put me in their life for me to try to help them in that situation to say what's right and what's wrong. If faced with the topic, I'm not here to judge nobody and I'm not here to, be nobody's parent. But if you're my friend or someone close to me, then you already know that I'm gonna keep it 1,000 with you. That is not right. And it has happened to me where someone close to me brought a female around me and they knew that A, I don't rock like that, and B, I know your wife, and C, get her away from me. And I said that because I just know women, sometimes the women don't know though, but women who are willingly mistresses or women who willingly, be with men and they know they have someone or even especially have a wife, the way they move is just weird. And I will never have, sometimes when people are in situations like that, they try to ta-da the wife or, ta-da the woman. Like, we were just at his auntie house and, girl, shut up. And so I will never have it where someone try to make it seem like, oh yeah, we was kicking it with your cousin and and no. So in that instance, when a person had brought someone around me, since you had the audacity to bring her around me in that moment, I had the audacity to tell you, where's your wife? I'm sorry. I'm not the one to cheat around. And I said it. And, the person's like, oh, come on now. And I was like, no, I'm just saying, don't do this to me. I have to see you later. because it's not okay with me. And so with that being said, I think a lot of people know who I am and how I, it's serious to me. Cheating is serious to me. Why? Because cheating can ruin lives in many ways. Not only emotionally, but it can be a matter of life and death. I have a cousin that was murdered. Rest in peace, Russell Talbert. Because of a love triangle. And, the one guy shot him. And they both were dating the same girl. They weren't married, but it was just the point. They were both dating the same girl, and, egos got in the way. It happened. Outside of that, my life. It ain't no secret my father was cheating. And so with that being said, my parents ended up with a divorce. And it affected my life, my mother's life, our life, my relationship with my father. You know what I'm saying? Because no matter what, you're not in the home, it's different. And, it affects your life. It does. And then with my daughter's father, my ex-husband, cheating. I just feel like if you don't want to be with somebody, that's why I will never cheat. I can say it. I haven't. I won't. Because I'm a grown woman. And if I feel the need to cheat and it ain't got that bad, I can just leave. It's nobody handcuffing me to this house or to this person. And so in any situation I've been in, because I know the effects of cheating and how it can ruin lives and really complicate things and even end lives, I'm not going to do it. And so if it ever comes to a point where I feel the need to cheat, sure, I can talk to my husband about it and we can try to go to counseling and everything like that. But if in that moment I feel like I'm about to cheat or something, then I need to leave. Because why? We are grown. No one told you to be committed to somebody that you're not really committed to. Like, why? And I know sometimes it's out of greed because people want to have their cake and eat it too. Because I was told, like, well, I was just getting it out of my system. I was going to come back and be with my family. Shut up. And that's young, immature thinking. But people think it. And they think like, oh yeah, I could just go out here and get this out of my system and come back. No. And I mean, it's nothing wrong. Can relationships and marriages survive cheating and infidelity, adultery? Sure, it can. It absolutely can. But what I'm saying is it will never be on my behalf. I'll just leave. I mean, because I'm just not going to do it. I feel like in order to cheat, you got to do so much lying. Because you ain't going to outright just tell the person you married to or with, oh, I'm about to go with this guy. You're not going to do that. So what are you going to do? You're going to lie. I'm not a liar. Why am I not a liar? Because it's just, I have no respect for liars. I just don't. I don't have respect.
But I think that a lot of some cheating scenarios to the two people may be a perfect scenario to where the whole thing is a lie, but the way it's presented to them to where they're cheating, they feel like it's a perfect scenario. So they're cheating because I can get away with this, just like.
But why get away with something?
But I understand what you said.
It's people who is willing to be polyamorous. It's people who is willing to be threesomes and stuff. So let's be adults and have a conversation.
Yeah, but I think that what you're speaking of is a moral standard.
Boom.
To have a moral standard with self.
And I do.
And I think that that's awesome. And I think that more people should have a moral standard within themselves to say, these are lines I won't cross and I don't want it to be crossed with me.
Boom.
So, and I think for a lot of people who put themselves in situations, here's the thing, for the reason why we even on this topic is you're putting yourself in situations to where I don't want to test my boundary line.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be as far as I can away from the boundary line so that I don't have to test myself. Meaning, if I know over there is hot, I'm not going to go over there. Like, that's my boundary. Like, it gets too hot over there, or it gets too eerie or sticky over there. Like, I think people live too close to the edge to where they fall into them temptations, and they say, well, I'm not perfect. Well, no, but you were cognizant and you were aware that that's a issue for you. So why did you do that? I think our old pastor, rest in peace, he said that, God always give you a exit and he gives you an out.
A sign and an exit. God always give you a sign and an exit.
Yeah, he always give you a sign and an exit. And you know that. I think everybody has that. It's not liquor. It's not being inebriated in any way that is a reason for you to act like that.
I feel like it's a conscious decision. Don't nobody just walk and fall into vaginas. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's keep it 1,000.
Yeah.
Don't nobody just walk and fall on the penis.
Yeah.
Like, stop. It's a conscious decision. It took time to take off your clothes or to drive to the place, and you made a conscious decision.
Yeah.
It was premeditated. Cause it's always premeditated because it don't just happen. It's things that lead up into. So
yeah. So my answer to the question that we're having, like, no, I don't think that if you're married that you should hang around. See, here's the thing.
I can hang around.
When you, like, for me, like, people don't come and burden me with, like, oh man, let me borrow this, or let me borrow your car, let me borrow some milk, because they understand that Kevin don't do that. Like, Kevin is not about that. I don't even radiate that type of energy where you want to feel like I'm the bank or I'm to come borrow from me. Now, I'm not saying I don't want to help people or I don't have people that's close to me that I will give to. I just don't look like I want to just
be the
bank. So I don't look like, hey, bring your mistress around me, or bring your
right.
let's go hang out with your ex chick, your chick. Like, I don't do that. So that's me. And that's not something that I project. I don't just project that I'm open to that type of energy, because I'm not doing that in my situation. So it's not okay for me.
Well, I just feel like when I'm thinking right now in my thoughts, now I'm thinking about it. It's been about 4 or 5 people that I know that was cheating, or that was dating a married man, or, something like that. So in a lot of situations when that was occurring, because people are very aware of my stance on this. I've spoken so much about it. And, through my own divorce and stuff, like, people are very aware I'm not for cheaters. And so when it has happened and it's people that I know and that are my friends, either A, they've kept it from me, or B, they were, forthcoming with it, and they'll start off like, well, I know you. I know how you are. And yeah, girl, so yeah. And if ask, and I'll say, are you asking for my opinion? Because just because people tell you something don't mean they want your opinion. Sometimes they just want to hear themselves talk or something. I don't know. But I say, are you asking for my opinion? That's wrong. Or in the conversations, they know I'm always team wife because I know what it feels like. And so, yes, and I'm going to go over there and leave a letter on her doorstep. Why would you do that? What is you getting out of that? Like, I'm the wrong one. Because why? You in the wrong. Like, I'm going to give you it straight, no chaser, and I'm going to be honest with you. So if you tell me that you in a situation or scenario as we're speaking of, I'm gonna give it to you 100, and I'm gonna be team wife all the time because they took a vow together and you're infringing upon it. And I've been around people, now I'm thinking it's even more than about 5 or 6. I've been around people, and in my conversation, it makes people not want to tell me that they cheating or in situations like that because I grabbed the Bible out on them, about how God thought so much of adultery that he made it a commandment. He commanded us not to do that. So don't get married if you know you're a cheater. No one is forcing you into marriage and to make this vow, because if you're spiritual, which that's the basis of a marriage, it was created by God.
I want to believe that someone didn't get married and say, I'm going to cheat. I want to believe that.
Some people
Says,
be knowing they.
I know, but I'm just saying. I want to believe. I want to believe. I want to believe that they got married and a situation happened, and you let your flesh get the best of you.
But some people have gotten married on false premises.
I agree. Now,
some people have gotten married to please that person, or they didn't want to lose that person, and they knew that person was gonna go. So okay, let me just go ahead. Yeah. Some people have gotten married. I mean, to be totally honest with you, I don't even know 100%. I feel like.
So you believe that someone get married off of the premise that I'm gonna cheat, but to keep you here, I'm gonna just marry you.
Yeah, I think that's what happened to me. I do. Because I know God didn't ordain that marriage.
That's super selfish.
Yeah, well, people are selfish. People who cheat is selfish, because why not let that person go on and move on with their life? And you keep trying to fix it and get chance after chance and some more chances. Why do that to somebody? Ain't nothing good gonna come to you.
None.
Because you could have left that person alone and let them go head on with their life instead of ruining people's life like that. And that's just irritating me while I'm thinking about it. But I'm fine because, I'm thankful God gave me the ability to move on. But I do know that it's a shame when people do that, because they do it to the wrong people, and then everybody's not as strong. Everybody's not able to say, I will love again. Like I had it in my plight, like, I'm not gonna let him win. Because see, men, they do stuff and then boom, they moving on with their life and remarrying and everything. And then the women be, so emotional.
But seemingly, I think that
rightfully so.
But I'm saying I think that that's could be false to some point. All men don't get a chance. It just looks like that. We wear it different. I haven't been in that situation, but I just know that we do feel a lot, and a lot of times we mask that by work or by moving on. Yeah. So it's a. But
the point is that I feel bad when people do that, because, wow, I'm not built to break. But it's many women that are, and that's why they have a whole show created about it called Snap. Okay? And I'm just trying to tell you, when I watched it, like, oh my God, they're crazy. But then after I went through it, I'm like, I could see how people is on this show. I could see how people, it's a thin line.
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
it's a thin line, and then I get sad for the people who aren't that strong, because then they don't love again, and then they by themselves, and that's sad, because of a person broke their heart to that extent that made them not be willing to trust again.
Yeah, I definitely sympathize with your situation and many situations like that has happened to, especially when it's habitual. Like
Habitual,
I
baby.
definitely sympathize because it breaks up, like you said in the beginning, it breaks up families. It breaks up someone's heart to where they don't want to love again, or everybody
And it
isn't
could
strong.
end someone's life.
Right. And it doesn't, it puts people in a situation where they don't move forward. Like, because they gives marriage, like I said, man, people want to get married so much and so bad that if you're not in it for the 100%, and those of us who are 100% in marriage and want to build family, community, and generations of children and people to live on, like you give so much in the marriage. And when you take that for granted, and please your flesh to go cheat or do something like that, like you ruin a lot more than just.
You could bother somebody mentally. Okay, so once I gave Amaya Diddy chance after chance and some more chances and finally decided to divorce. Because of the person I am, I had a bachelor's in psychology. So that tells you I think about stuff a lot. I give things deep thought. And as I began to self-reflect, what could you have done to cause this? Which that is what the beginning of my thought process was like. What did you do to deserve you? What did you do to deserve this? You don't. You don't deserve it. What did you do to cause this? You didn't. Because that person should have been honest and just not gotten married if they wasn't ready for marriage and wasn't going to be faithful or abstain to their vows. And so it was bothering me so much because I couldn't wrap my mind around it. Like, dang, we doing good. We got, this, that, the other, and I think I'm cute and this and that. And so I had pursued a master's degree in counseling and psychology because I needed in-depth understanding. That's how mental it will do a person, except for my plight was to gain understanding. Like I needed to understand. And after completing my master's program successfully, I'm very aware it had nothing to do with me. And I'm thankful that God gave me the opportunity to watch because I see now all the many children and women that no one can please people sometimes. And so it's not you. It's their own situations.
But let me ask you: isn't there situations where there are accountabilities that the other spouse have to take when it comes to those things happening in a marriage or in a relationship?
I'm kind of lost what you.
Well, in all cheating situations or situations where the spouse went and left the house or did whatever, do you think that there are some accountabilities that the victim has to take on in that?
Well, personally, I feel that the person who cheated, they made a conscious decision to do that. And they knew that they had made a vow. So that's on them.
So if, for
However,
instance,
I also know that as I did my self-reflection and I did my inner work, I became aware of some areas of that marriage that I would not repeat if God blessed me with another husband. For instance, I wouldn't lock someone out the house and not let them come. Because if you locking them out, then you giving them to the streets. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like those is childish things that may have occurred, and it's other things that I self-reflect on, and it's things that I could choose to improve about myself as a partner, as a spouse, as a person. And I did my work. I went to counseling. I sought, spiritual advisement and psychological advisement, because what also it does is it taints a person for their next person. Like I had trust issues. Period. Like because of the things that happened to me, when certain things start kind of looking like something that it could just not be, but because you've lived it, you may say, I seen this movie before. He gonna do this or he gonna do that, and your current spouse may not even had a thought You know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, like, okay, people that keep their phones face down or whatever. The first time you see the phone face down, if you have been cheated on, you may say, I wonder what's that about.
Yeah.
I'm about to look through their phone and all of that. You know, and it make you crazy. You have to do intentional work on you after being in situations like that, because when you move on, you don't want to carry that baggage. And while you are going to carry some of it, because it just is, you're gonna carry some of it with you, but you're gonna try your best. You should intentionally try your best to be a better person, or to cope with the things that you've been through, even outside of cheating. You know what I'm saying? Like, people who may possibly been raped, they may not be as sexual or as, willing to be touched as the next woman, but they know their spouse is going to want to have sex and give them comfort and different things. So they may have to make a intentional decision to let their spouse be comforting to them in whichever ways. So it's about being intentional with how you're going to move on from it.
But what I was saying was, and I think you hit on it a little bit, where in your instance where you felt like, okay, I can grow in this area. These are areas I'm going to take accountability for in my marriage that I won't do. But there are more situations where the victim, and I'm not pandering to the victimizer. I'm just saying to help people out there that
Give me an example.
to cross all the T's. Like, if you see that your spouse is in need of something, like whether it's a man or a woman, like, you can't take your spouse for granted and say, because we married, you bet not do X, Y, and Z. You bet not cheat, or you bet not have a human physical desire because you married now, and take that person for granted. Like, whether it be your health, whether it be your physicality, whether it be intimacy, whether it be just anything, and then expect that person to not have a desire for that type of intimacy because you don't want to give it. So now you're upset because they did something, or they went outside and you did. Like, I think that's.
No, I think that is.
But it's a lot more since
taking responsibility as an adult, because when you felt like you were going to do something else,
but I'm
or
saying
have
there's
someone else do it for you.
No. What I'm saying is,
marriage,
listen, if there are many people that's having conversations with their wife. There's many people that having conversation with their husbands and saying, hey, look, I need more of this, I need more of that. And you are intentionally not giving that to your spouse because you have a certain bias, or you feel inadequate in your area, so you're not going to give me what I need because just for whatever your own thing is. Like, you have a lot of women that husbands don't want to spend time with them because they rather be outside the home, or they rather be hanging out with the guys, or they too tired, or they work so much that they don't want to give their spouse. So what do the spouse do when she want to be intimate, or she wants to be affectionate with her husband, but he's never home? So what do you do? So now my wife has to just, well, I talked to him about it, and it's been 5 years, it's been 10 years, and he ain't made no change.
Right. I mean, although biblically the only biblical thing for divorce is provision for divorce is adultery. However, I can't judge nobody. I'm gonna stand on it. You got choices in life. Ain't nobody handcuffed you to no relationship.
But I'm saying there's petitions being made on both sides of the
and
fence.
If that person,
so now you're saying,
if it's so serious to you, if it's so serious to the person, whatever the issue may be, if it's that serious to you, you do have choices.
It should be that serious,
right? But they got choices.
Sex, or being ignored, or being acknowledged, being adorned, to be honored in your marriage is a serious thing. And if you're not getting that, and your spouse
is a choice.
Okay, what choice do you have when there's no biblical?
Leave that person alone if it's not
okay, but I'm
working
saying
out.
If we living by a biblical principle,
I understand what
and
you're
saying. What? So now you can't say, okay, don't cheat or don't do that because you're not giving me something, and I'm being faithful to you. I'm honoring you by opening up my mouth and saying what I need from you, and you're not giving it, but I'm married under covenant, and I say I'm gonna honor our covenant to the day I die. But it's been 5 years, it's been 10 years, and you refuse to give me what I want. And that's intentional. That I'm verbalizing this and you're not giving it to me. Like, just put yourself in our shoes. If I just really ignored your petitions because of whatever, my own pride and ego, I won't do X. I won't give you X, whatever X is for you. And I have to have you stand in that. But you don't have no grounds to divorce me because I don't want to honor your petitions. I didn't cheat on you. I'm just not honoring you in no type of way in that area or whatever area that you need from me. And you want that. You desire that. You didn't get married to be just a wife. You got married to be loved. You got married to be touched. You got married to be desired. And I'm not giving you that. It's many men that don't cheat, but they really bash their wives' physicality, or you're not doing this, or you're not doing that, or you're not this. But they there. And women on the other side too. You understand what I'm saying? So now what do those spouses do? I mean, one thing, they got to take they covenant back to God. Like, hey, this is what's happening.
Yeah.
But no, yes, you are making a choice, but I'm making a choice to stagnate my life for my covenant. Because that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
But so what's your take on that?
I really can't speak on it because I just feel like that's like a whole nother podcast. Like, I just feel like that even like some of the areas are kind of gray because it would just have to be a case by case scenario.
No, I agree with you. It wasn't a question to trip you up. It was more of a question as everything isn't atypical. Everything isn't cookie cutter to where, hey, this and that. The basis of it all is that whatever you do, you're making a choice against your decision to love someone forever, to honor someone forever. That's the basis of it. The first question about this podcast, what we was talking about, should you hang around people that are cheating and you're married? To me, this is my simple answer. If you roll around mud, you roll around in mud, there's no way you can expect yourself to come out clean. I'm not going to roll around with a bunch of people, and I don't want to be involved in another family being torn down, and I'm in the midst of that. I don't want those spirits on me.
But you could be in the midst
no,
of
I can. No, you got to know your friends.
I'm saying you could be in the midst of a situation where you are the catalyst that may, shine a light. It's people who have inboxed you that said, oh, I wish I could be half the man to my wife as you are or appear to be to Alicia. And so by them being in your proximity, then, you're shedding a light. Like, it was somebody I used to talk on the phone to, and I guess they had me on speakerphone half the time when they at home, and their husband would hear me saying, oh, here come Boopy, let me go, let me see how his day was. And then that person was like, yeah, because you get off the phone and your husband come in, you give him attention, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, because I really do want to see how my husband's day was. So anyway, the point is, then that person started trying to, because they saw what I was doing and how I greeted my husband or how I treat my husband, So sometimes you may be around people that's going left. After we got married, so many people that was around us started getting engaged and married. Because I'm not saying it was because solely of us, but I do feel that, like people, okay, marriage is cool. Okay, it don't have to be that bad. Oh, it looks like you can still have a life and enjoy your spouse after marriage. You know what I'm saying? Because we so intentionally try to do that. So if you have a friend that may be a cheater, You might be in their life for a reason. Like, everything ain't about you. Some situations is so someone else can gain something, and you may gain nothing from it, and it may drain you. But it may be that you're in that person's life for that reason, so that maybe they can stop cheating, or maybe they can leave. I don't know, but maybe they could stop cheating and do better. But maybe they didn't have anyone else that was going to. So I just really feel like, no, am I going to actively just want to be hanging out? I mean, it's about maturity level too. It's just about where you are mentally and with maturity. Plenty people do different things as a married couple or as a married woman separately. When you're separate from your spouse, it's things and ways that you should govern yourself. And it just is. But some people don't. What I'm trying to say is, like, for instance, I'm about to go to my daughter's homecoming. And it was a few events that I just off the top was like, yeah, no, I'm good. Because I don't even feel like I can enjoy myself in some of those settings because I'm married. And not that I can't have fun, but in a lot of these different settings, I may put myself in a situation where it looked like I might be ready to mingle. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm purposely already stating, like, yeah, no, I'm not going to that. And so it's on whoever to make those intentional steps to do the right thing. If you're in a relationship committed or a marriage committed, to not cheat. But my answer to hanging around cheaters, that's not something I'm seeking out. But if there is someone in my midst that is a cheater, I feel like after a while, I would stray away anyway because the mentality bothers me. And I don't like entertaining BS. And I'm like, Kevin, I don't want to be a part of nothing that's gonna tear down a family.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be there. And this is the thing. I can be a beacon of light for someone else's life. I won't exile someone who wants to actively be a better man or be a better person for their active situation. But I'm not seeking out, like, God was on the move. And you had to come to him, like the woman with the issue of blood. He didn't come to her. He came to her vicinity, and then she had to be prepared to want to get healed. I'm not going to put myself and knock on people's doors or make sure that, hey, you healed, or, hey, you need to follow this. No, I'm going to be me. And look, even in our life right now, there's rooms that you have to be qualified to get in.
Mm-hmm.
You're not qualified to be in a room with me with a bunch of integral men, and you're not integral.
Yeah.
You have to show yourself integral. Today, as transparent as I can be, my spiritual leader now sent me a message, and he said, man, I honor you for being integral and being a man that wants to please God. That puts me in a different mind state and in a different category in his mind or circles that he may be in. Like, hey, this guy is integral, that he'll take accountability for his own actions or lack thereof. That puts you in a different bracket because he can actively see, like, okay, Kevin this is not fake. He really wants to be this way.
Yes.
But if you're actively cheating, glorifying it, and trying to be on the snake in the grass, there are rooms that I won't even allow you to be around because there are men that actively want to put their flesh to death and to be integral and move past their visual eyes and to want to feed something else that feeds them, whether it's financial or whether it's being, grow personally. And I won't even consider you, so I'm not even in your space. So I'm not going to go nowhere and say, oh, I'm going to be a beacon of light. I'm a beacon of light when I wake up and I'm integral with my family, with my wife. I want her to feel comfortable when I walk out the door. If someone was to come with her with some foolishness, she already know that's something that you trying to plant a seed. And if that's not you it's hard for your spouse to gauge whether this is true or not true. Like I don't walk in that. I don't put myself in those situations. I don't soft flirt. I don't like pictures on the gram and all these others. I don't do that type of stuff so that my wife can feel not over that. Let's not lie to myself. Like you going against or someone going against their covenant is you actively lying to yourself. I'm not going to call myself a liar. I'm calling myself a liar if I'm going to cheat on my wife or my covenant or my family unit if I go out there and do something. Now, we not perfect, but let's strive for excellence at
Let's
least.
strive for excellence, and that's the thing. Like today on the Housewives of Potomac, the lady was saying about how this other lady husband was in somebody DM. You know, in those situations, like how this look? So you liking somebody in a bikini picture? How that look? You know, and I know because us as women, we notice ish like that. You know what I'm saying? Like we start seeing somebody husband coming on everybody thirst trap picture. You may start looking at that husband different, like, what's up with you? Your wife ain't gonna. I mean, why are you may not saying that a man once he get married, he doesn't have thoughts like, oh, she's gorgeous. Oh, that look good. But I don't need you pressing like under this one and that one picture. I know my husband is a man. And he gonna be a man. Baby, just look and keep strolling. Because how does that look? And so that's not striving for excellence in your marriage. When you under these thirst trap pictures, googly eyed and emojied up. And even if you don't do a Google eye or emoji, if you press a like on it, what is your point? You want to notify that person that you like it? Yeah. And what your wife got to say about that? You feel me? Because what is your purpose of pressing like on that? You want that person to know I seen it.
I agree with that.
I like it too. And what's that about? So you need to dive deeper and ask yourself why. Why did I need to press like? Why did I have to let that person know? So you seeking attention? Is that attention seeking behavior? That you're pressing like to notify the person that you seen it so they can just know they always on your mind? Or, I mean, I'm just saying, all right, what was your point in doing so? You could have seen it and you could have slobbed on the picture or whatever you wanted to do and kept it moving. And no one would have ever knew. That would have just been your own little secret in your mind. But also, that's a sin for you to lust after somebody else. But I'm not going to get deep on you. But if you in the Bible and you having a Bible-based marriage, ooh-wee, I'm going to be quiet. All right, y'all. We answered this question.
Yeah, I think we went in depth with that. I don't have nothing else to say about that. It just, you guys,
get it together.
Examine yourself.
Hey.
You got to examine
look
yourself.
Look at the man in the mirror.
Examine yourself. So this has been another episode. Hey, look, this is a response to a comment of a topic. If you have anything else, if there's something else that you want us to touch on, our experience, and it's subjective. This is how we feel. If that's not how you feel, that's okay.
Yeah.
But put in the comments, send us a message if something else, another topic you want us to cover. But this is just our take, and this is the family dynamics. And we'll see y'all in a minute.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Family Dynamics Podcast with Kevin and Alicia Meeks.
Thank you, guys.
Please like, subscribe, and comment. And don't forget to follow us on social media at The Family Dynamics.
We'll see y'all in a minute.
Bye.